Drum roll, please. Cymbal crash. Bustelo ran out from behind the curtain, bounded onto the springboard, did a double somersault, landed lightly on his feet, took the raw egg from out between his teeth, showed it to the crowd, smashed it on the ground. The crowd went wild. Bustelo was the best court jester ever. And that is why he worked for the king. He knew 123 tricks. He could play the trombone, the trumpet, the triangle. He could do somersaults and tell stories and jokes from morning to night. He was the best. And that's why he worked for the king. And all was good. Except there was one rule. No children allowed in the royal court. And that wasn't a big problem, except for one kid. You see, Bustelo had a son, Luca. And Luca wanted to be a jester just like his dad. He could do a few tricks. He could tell a few jokes like, why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Okay, they weren't that good. But he was trying. He could play the banjo and do a somersault. He wanted to be a jester just like his dad. But how could he be a jester if he couldn't see his dad do what his dad did? He probably shouldn't have. But one day, Luca snuck into the royal court, climbed the stairs up to the balcony, and watched as, drumroll please, cymbal crash, Bustelo ran out, did the flip trick, cracked the egg, the crowd went wild. And Luca said, way to go, Daddy! Reducto, one of the king's ministers. A child? In the royal court? Bring him here at once. Luca was brought down.
A boy? He broke the rules. The boy must be punished.
On the other side of the king was the other minister, Cannoli, who said, yeah. And the king said, look, he's just a kid. He meant no harm.
He broke the rules. He must be punished.
Yeah. And just then, Bustelo ran in and said, hey, this is my son, Luca. He meant no harm.
He must be punished.
The king said, no, we're going to give him a break. Bustelo wrapped his arm around Luca, and they went to their apartment in the castle. Are you out of your mind? You know kids are not allowed. What's the matter with you? Dad, how am I ever going to be a jester if I never see you do what you do, Dad? This summer, when you go out to entertain the villages on the summer tour, Daddy, please, can I go with you, please? Children are allowed there. And Bustelo said what any good dad would say. He said, let's ask Mommy. And miracle of miracles, Mom said yes. And she said, okay, but Luca, promise me you'll stay safe, and promise me you'll have an amazing adventure. And so, on the first day of summer, Luca sat next to Bustelo in the front wagon. Behind them, a long train of other wagons filled with dancers, acrobats, and musicians, and everything you need for a summer tour. They were at the Eastern Gate. At the Western Gate sat Cannoli and Reducto, and behind them a long train of other wagons filled with henchmen. For every summer they went to take new lands, fill their pockets, and spread fear. And sure enough, at the strike of the noon bell, the gates opened, and off they went. Dad, I'd never been outside of the castle. Where are we going? Luca, look down in the valley. You see that little village? That will be our first stop. Every year, the village has got one show, and this was the day. The wagons arrived. The people came out to greet Bustelo, and he said, "My friends, we've got a great show prepared for you at 6 o'clock. Be at the town square at 6 p.m. We'll see you there." All right, it's a big job to set up the show. They were hanging the banners, hanging the flags, and Bustelo was sawing a piece of wood. Dad, I've never been outside of the castle before. Would it be okay if I went for a walk or something? Sure, look, hey, look, be back by 6 o'clock. And Luca went into the town. He came to a place where there was a store, and it sold the most amazing shoes. And next to it, a store that sold the coolest hats. And next to it, a store that sold the most delicious treats. And inside, a woman waved him in. "Can I help you?" They all look so... Well, which one do you want? "I want all of them." All of them is a lot of money. I don't have any money, I'm just a kid. But I'm a kid with some jokes, like, what musical instrument lives in the bathroom? A tuba, toothpaste. Why was the math book so sad? Because it was full of problems. She said, "What's your name, Mr. Funnybones?" "My name is Luca." "Wait, I've got one more. Why is the teddy bear never hungry?" "Because he's always stuffed." She said, "Okay, Luca, I think you've earned a treat here. Let's see. Yeah, this one. My favorite. Made it with my own 2 hands. A peach tart. But Luca, you must promise me something." "What?" "You must promise me that you will always be..." "Always be what?" "You'll always be you." "Sure." And then Luca stepped outside. And he came to this place where there was this alley, and it was a little creepy, but it was also kind of cool. And it turned to the right, and it turned to the left, and the buildings got closer, and it got darker, and the roof lines almost touched. And as he was, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. He almost stepped on her. There on the ground was a young mother, and in her arms 2 little babies crying. She reached up her hand and said, Don't be afraid, son. My children are hungry. Do you have a coin or 2? Hey, I would if I could, but I'm a kid, so I can't. I'm sorry. And he walked a little further, and he came to a place where there were these 2 old guys sitting on a bench. And one of them's hand was all broken and twisted, and the other, whose leg was badly hurt. They said, "Hey, kid, look, come here a second. We were soldiers in the King's Wars. We got injured, and he gives us no money, no pension. Do you have a penny or 2, kid?" "I wish I could. I'm a kid, but I can't." And he went a little further, and he came to a place where there was a boy just like him, dressed in filthy rags, no shoes, holding up his hand. "Hey, dude, I wish I could. I'm a kid. I can't. What can I give? The show, Daddy, the stage. And when Luca got there, everything was set. The stage was prepared. Beautiful banners and flags. Bustelo said, Luca, come here. Take this sign and stand over there. The sign said, welcome to Bustelo's summer show. Drum roll, please. Cymbal crash. Bustelo ran out, did the flip trick, cracked the egg. The crowd went wild. My friends, we've got a great show prepared for you. And then someone said, who's the kid? Oh, that's my son, Luca. And someone said, what can he do? And then someone else said, sing us a song, kid. You know what? That's a great idea. Hey, Luca, give me that sign. Come out here and sing the people a song. Father, I don't sing. Luca, sing them a song. I don't care if it's the happy birthday song. Sing them a song. Father, I'm going to kill you. Happy birthday to you. Happy. And that's when he saw them. The mom with the two little kids. And the two old guys. And the kid who was just like him. And the lady from the cake store. They were all there. And Luca got this sweet, beautiful, golden feeling. It was like, did you ever open up a can of peaches? The top pops and those golden globes of sweet deliciousness are there. Luca got this beautiful golden feeling. It rose up through him and then he began to whatever he sang became a picture in the sky. 1,000 blue butterflies, a triple rainbow, a river of shimmering gold. Was done, the picture dissolved. And people started to say, that was amazing, that was incredible, that was a miracle. Did you see that? Help me, that was amazing, that was incredible. Did you see it? It was amazing, it was amazing. And then Bustelo came out and said, Luca, how did you do that, Dad? Peaches. And it was a miracle. It was a miracle. The people went home happy, their hearts filled with their love, their eyes filled with beauty, and their ears filled with wonder. And none of the other actors and musicians could get on the stage. I mean, why would you? Why would you pour milk into a glass that was already full? The people went home happy. And they went to the next village. And when they got there, they were building the stage. And Lucas said, Dad, can I go for a walk? He said, be back by 6 o'clock. And again, he met people who asked him for things. And again, the sign. And again, drum roll, please. and cymbal crash, and the cymbal a trick, and to break the egg, and the crowd went wild. My people, and again, who's the kid? And again, sing us a song. And again, Luca saw them, the ones who had asked him, and again, he sang. And by the time they got to the third village, people had heard about the boy who could sing pictures. And when the wagon arrived, they said, there he is, the boy who could sing pictures. And they gathered around the wagon, and they all began to say, sing us a picture, sing us a picture, sing us. Come on! Come on! And Luca did. He sang and sang and sang all summer long. And like all good things, summer came to an end. They arrived at the eastern gate, and waiting for them was a guard who said, the boy who could sing pictures, huh? Well, the king and Reducto and Cannoli are waiting for you. Luca was brought into the royal court, and Reducto said,
Oh, the boy who could sing pictures. Sing us a picture, boy.
yeah. And Luca looked into Reducto's eyes. He looked into Cannoli's eyes, but he got no sweet feeling.
What's the matter, boy? You can't sing pictures, can you? Or has the cat got your tongue? Meow.
And then Bustelo ran in and said, Luca, just sing them a picture. Dad, I can't. I'm not feeling any. Luca, look into their eyes. Be who you are and sing the truth.
Yeah, Luca, be who you are.
And Luca looked into Reducto's eyes, and he saw the violence, the torture, the suffering, and he got this burning feeling in his gut. It was like someone tied his insides into a knot. He tried to hold it down. It hurt. He didn't want it to come out, but he couldn't stop it. And then Luca opened his mouth and began to blood. Pain. People dying. Children crying. Blood, pain, people dying, children crying. The boy is evil. The boy is evil. He breaks all the rules. The boy must be punished. Yeah. And Luca was taken and thrown into the dungeon. alone, scared. And Luca began to cry. Cold. Scared. Alone. But what Luca didn't know was in the royal court that night was the woman from the bakery who had given him the peach tart. She followed him and saw his first picture and followed it every single day of the summer. She'd seen them all and she knew that his heart was good. She got on her horse and galloped to the first village. Wake up, everyone! Wake up! Luca, the boy who could sing pictures, is in trouble. We need everyone to be at the castle by dawn. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, the castle by dawn. She raced to the second village. Everyone wake up! Luca is in trouble. The castle by dawn, the castle by dawn. Help me! The castle by dawn, the castle by dawn, the castle by dawn. The castle by dawn! The castle by dawn! Wake up, kid. I said, wake up, kid! Now, before I go on with the story, I have to paint a picture for you. Over here was the Eastern Tower. Over here was the Western Tower, and between them a high wall. Luca was brought up the circular stairs of the tower, and when he reached the top, he saw Reducto. He saw Cannoli, he saw the king, and he saw a figure, huge figure, dressed in a heavy brown cloak and hood, and next to him was a tall block of wood. And leaning against it was a sharp axe. This huge figure of a man came over to Luca, picked him up with one hand, and placed him on top of the block, so that Luca's little head rose above the castle wall, so that he could see the 10,000 people who were out there. And when he looked, they were all there. The woman with the little kids, and the two old guys were waving, and the kid had shoes. And there was the woman from the bakery, Bustelo, and his mom, and they were all there. When they saw Luca, they all began to chant, "Sing us a picture, sing us." Come on! Come on! My people! My people! My people! Me, your king, your king, your king, will grant you your wish.
Oh, but the boy must be punished. He broke the rules.
No. Luca Luca will sing one last song. Luca looked out, and then he began to sing. He filled the sky with pictures from the north to the south, from the east to the west. It was his best picture. And when he was done, the picture dissolved, and everyone was quiet. And then Luca heard someone crying. And when he looked, he saw that the king had tears running down his cheeks. The king looked and said, "I didn't know, I didn't trust, I didn't believe." And the king went on his knees, looked up at Luca and said, "Luca, I am sorry."
Oh, but the boy must be punished. He broke the rules.
Yeah. And the king, wiping the tears from his eyes, said, No, it is not Luca who should be punished, but you, Reducto, and you, Cannoli. I was a little child when my parents died, and they left me under your charge that you would teach me how to be a good and fair king. But you have led me and our whole kingdom down a path of sorrow and ruin. No, it is not Luca who should be punished, but the two of you. And then the king backed up, ran up to Reducto, and kicked him in the buttocks. And he went flying over the wall into the moat. And then he ran up to Cannoli and... And that was the end of Cannoli and Reducto. And 10 years later, drum roll please, cymbal crash, Luca ran out. Luca bounced onto the springboard, did a double back somersault, landed lightly in his feet, took the egg out from between his teeth, showed it to Bustelo, all the kids, the king, and everyone else, for he was now the court jester. And that is the story of the boy who could sing pictures. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard, was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard, was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a. He had a tall hat and a long beard and a long coat that dragged behind him as he walked through the many rooms of his castle, looking at all his stuff. He had a lot of stuff, but what he had most of all were books. From the ceiling to the floor, you couldn't fit anymore. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard, was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a. He knew everything about everything. Psychology, biology, mineralogy, thisology, and thatology too. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a wizard, was a wizard. Once upon a time there was a. And every day at 12 o'clock, he would open his doors, let people come in to ask him questions. And whatever the question was, the wizard had a lightning bolt of an answer. And this goes on for a long time, till one day he opens his door. A woman comes in. He said, "What is your question?" She said, "I don't have a question. I have a daughter. Her name is Nina, and she's really smart. People in the village say she might even be as smart as you." A child, a kid as smart. Bring her here at once. The woman stepped out and came back with Nina. The wizard looked at her and said, "All right, kid, they say you're pretty smart. Answer this simple little question. What is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 16,289 divided by 3 to the 13th power?" "I don't know it." But Nina nailed it. She knew it. She knocked it out of the park. The wizard said, "All right, well, answer this question. What is the capital city of Madagascar?" "I don't know it." But Nina nailed it. She knew it. She knocked it out of the park. He asked her another question. Boom, out of the park. Boom, out of the park. And this goes on for 3 long hours, until finally Nina said, "Mr. Wizard, this is boring. Can we play a game? Please, let's play a game. Let's play hide and seek, and you can hide first." "You want to play hide and seek with me in my own castle?" "Yeah." "Fine." And so the wizard clapped his hands one time, and he disappeared and hid behind the clouds. And Nina was like, "Mr. Wizard, that is not cool. The clouds are out of bounds. That's not fair. You have to come back." The wizard came down and said, "How did you know where I was hiding?" She said, "Now it's my turn to hide." And Nina clapped her hands slowly and silently, and she hid in the wizard's heart. And the wizard started to look for her. He went upstairs, he went downstairs, he went inside, he went outside. He went to the kitchen, opened up the cabinets, went to the living room, lifted up the carpets. He looked in every single one of his books. He searched for 3 hours, until finally the wizard said, "Hey, give me a hint." And he heard her little voice say, "Woo! Do that again. All right, kid, look. You win. Show yourself. And Nina, wow, appeared right in front of him. Where were you hiding?
Oh, Mr. Wizard. Mr. Big Bad Wizard.
I was hiding in your... And if you don't know where your heart is, if you can't find your heart, I mean, what's the use of all this stuff? Oh, young lady, you think you can walk into my castle and tell me that I don't know where my... You think you're so smart. You think you can just come in here and tell me that... I like you. She taught him a lesson. You can have all this stuff in the world, but if you can't find your heart, what's it good for? And ever since that day, the wizard invited school groups and families, kids to come into the castle and play and do all the crazy things you little people like to do, jump and twist and shout. And he started to play too. He started to play. And that's when he started to have fun. And that's when he started to find his heart. And that's when he started to live, really live happily ever after. Thank you very much. Daniel Kelly on the piano. Give him some love, people. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.